Now at 10, a protest is taking place outside of the LA County Department of Children and Family Services office. The family of 4-year-old Noah Quattro demanding answers after the boy died while in his parents' care. Relatives say he was temporarily removed from the custody of the couple on several occasions. KTLA's Megan Tellis live in Koreatown with the latest for us. Megan, good morning.
Good morning, Frank. That's right. You just heard part of that story. The great-grandmother in this case who took care of Noah for a portion of his life says that if the department would have protected Noah more, he would still be alive today. Take a look behind me. This is the protest happening now. It just started moments ago. If you're not familiar with the case, let me explain. This is information obtained by the LA Times. The 4-year-old boy from Palmdale died on July 6 while in the care of his biological parents. His parents say he drowned, but investigators say evidence suggests otherwise. Noah's great-grandmother, who is here today, says that he had been in and out of foster care for years. She says during the time that he was in her custody, he never wanted to leave. Noah's great-grandmother spoke with us about her last conversation with him. Take a listen.
Told the social workers, please, he doesn't want to leave. He wants to stay here, and he begged me. Would hold on to me and say, don't send me back, Grandma.
The interview too?
Yeah, she can.
Last November, social workers returned Noah to his parents despite the child's request. Then in May, a court commissioner granted a caseworker's request to remove him again. But that request was never carried out, despite evidence that the boy had been sexually assaulted. Let me also note that Noah's parents have not been arrested or charged in this case. Again, as we come back out live, we can see the protest is happening here. But I am with the great-grandmother. Thank you so much for being here today. We also have attorney Brian Claypool. Can you talk to me about what's going on today, what we can expect, and also that hearing that started at 9:30 in this case?
Yeah, I just learned there was some kind of emergency hearing this morning triggered by the Board of Supervisors. We're hoping that hearing has to do with releasing all the records that we need to see. For example, there was a 26-page report filed by DCFS to say that Noah should be taken away from his parents and given to Eva. Also, there's a 10-page court order that said that Noah needs to stay with his great-grandmother. We need to see that. We're hoping the Board of Supervisors is going to get that for us. But today is about hearing more about Noah, what kind of little boy he was, and it's also about asking for a criminal indictment of all the social workers and supervisors who ignored a court order. There was a court order saying that Noah should go back to his great-grandmother. DCFS ignored that, and this little boy's dead. So that's obstruction of justice, and we're calling for a state or federal investigation of that today.
Eva, you're living a nightmare right now as you hold the poster of your grandson Noah. He was only 4 years old. When you hear over and over again about what happened to him and what could have been prevented, what is your reaction to that, and what do you hope happens today?
Well, it saddens my heart. It breaks my heart. He didn't want to leave, and he was forced to leave. He didn't have a voice, and it just angers me that didn't listen, that didn't even question him. I had to ask the social workers to help me because he didn't want to go. Every time he had a visit, he didn't want to go, but he was forced to go. So I questioned why they gave him back. I don't understand. And
Was there a moment when you remember saying to yourself, I have to just put my hands up in the air and let him go back home at this point because DCFS wasn't doing anything about it? Describe that moment. What was the department telling you or not telling you?
well, they didn't say very much. It just said that, he has to go back. That's the best for him. And I thought to myself, they're crazy. It's not the best thing for him. But, I'm not the law. I can't do anything. So I said, okay. The day that my granddaughter called and said, I'm coming for him, they gave him back to me. I had to go get him out of school, and I didn't want to tell him, but I told him, baby, your mom's going to come for you. And right away he got upset, and when she got there, he grabbed my leg, and she told me, Grandma, pull him away from you, because I had to pull him. I had to take him. And he stood up to her, and he told her, I don't want to go with you, Ursula. I want to stay with my grandma. Leave me here. She said, nope, you're going. And I just went in the room and cried. What could I do? I was helpless. I couldn't help him. That's what bothers me so much, that I could not help this baby.
As we look at him now, his biological parents have not been arrested, have not been charged in this case.
No, they haven't. They haven't. They haven't
You
been.
know where they're at?
Yeah, I know where they're at, but I mean, I can't say. But
Have you talked to them?
no, no, they're mad. They're mad at me because I don't know. Because I called her one time and told her, you know, what's going on with Noah, and she didn't like that.
What's your message to DCFS this morning?
That they have to change. They either need to go back to school and learn something to help these kids, because to me, they failed. They failed, and if they don't stop and listen to the kids, they have to listen to them, because Noah told them to. He didn't want to go back, but they just ignored it, and that's not right. As small as he was, he still had a voice, but nobody listened to his voice.
As small as he was, he still had a voice. Thank you so much for taking the time, both of you. I know you're getting up to the podium now to speak. They're just getting here. Again, that protest underway right now, right in front of the Department of Children and Family Services. We'll wait and see what happens after today's protest and that hearing that took place at 9:30. That's the very latest in downtown LA. I'm Megan Tellis. Back to you in Hollywood.